All right, what's up? You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. It is a Tuesday in the city. A lot of us are still having that Cleveland Browns post hangover, and that's okay because we're going to get into the topic in about 2 seconds. But I wanted to introduce my guest co-hosts today. I got two of them, and I got a special guest. So I got Mr. Marshawn Powers, who's in studio with me today, and I have Mr. Willie Epteen. Mr. Willie Epteen Jr. I got to make sure I get that junior right. How you doing, fellas?
Good.
What's happening, world?
Willie, you ain't gonna do the rest?
Yeah. Cleveland! What it is.
I was about to say, you trying to change some things up on us today. Don't be acting new because we got Ellis L. Williams with us in the house from Cleveland.com. Ellis, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, Rachel. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad we're able to do this. You know, you showed me love right when I got here, you and Branson and all that. So happy to finally link up with you like this.
Yeah, I haven't been able to be in the house because of, COVID and things like that. But, I definitely appreciate you being here today. And hopefully, you're enjoying the city of Cleveland. How's everything been going? Because you've been here for like 2 years now, right?
Yeah. Coming up on 2 years. Interesting experience to say the least. First season covering the Browns, everything's normal. Second one, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and now coming up on year 3 here. So it's a beautiful city. I've been able to have some friends and family come check it out as well. And people from Minnesota now have a lot better understanding of what Cleveland's all about. I'll tell you that.
Okay, well, it looks like the Cleveland baseball team just beat the Minnesota Twins 3-1. So sorry I had to mention that. We had win out past game, so it was kind of important to get a W today, and we always struggle against the Twins for whatever reason. So sorry we had to get that against you guys, and it looks like we got another game today with that doubleheader coming up, I believe, at 7 o'clock. So Ellis, I know that we don't have you for that long, but let's just go ahead and get into it. So you got a chance to go to Kansas City for that game, correct?
I was here. I covered it remotely. I was in Cleveland for the game.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were there.
I was there last year for the playoff game, but I was in Kansas City for the playoff game a year ago.
Okay, and what was that experience like? Can you tell a little bit about? I know it was last year, but can you tell what that experience was like being covering the team?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Very similar from what I've gathered. Just a raucous Arrowhead Stadium. That place sells out, and though that place becomes louder, the press box shakes, and you
really?
The press box shakes, especially when those cans go off and Kansas City scores. It's one of the most fierce places to play in the league, and you felt to be in there, whether it was in the playoff game or week 1 talking to my colleagues. It's the same type of atmosphere. That was a playoff game on Sunday. Let's be real about it.
Yeah, and I know I don't want to get into predictions. Maybe we'll do that towards the end. But what are you predicting? Are we going to see this team again? But what are some of your takeaways from this game? Because this game, a lot of people say this game doesn't matter, and I am coming from the school of thought that hey, it was okay if we didn't beat them this first game, but let's beat them when it counts. And that's going to be in the AFC Championship, where a lot of people foresee both teams going. What were some of your takeaways from this game overall?
Sure, and that makes a lot of sense. With how the Browns season is shaping up and the expectations that we all have in players and coaching staff among us, this game did matter, quite frankly. It's probably going to come down to the Browns, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, when you're talking about teams competing for that top seed. And the Browns now are 0-2 at Arrowhead. But coming out of the game, you realize that the Browns are probably the second best team in the AFC. You saw the Bills lose to the Steelers. You saw the Ravens lose on Monday Night Football. And then you see a Browns team that for 3.5 quarters averaged 8-point yards per play, could run all over the Chiefs. And that's going to be a theme all year long, regardless of who the Browns go up against. They're going to dominate teams up front with their offensive line and be able to run the football and protect Baker Mayfield. And then defensively, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Malik McDowell, Jordan Elliott, Malik Jackson, Joe Jackson, Tack McKinley. They've got a whole plethora of pass rushers and run stoppers to dominate up front. So I was tweeting it during the game. Football is simple when you win the battle up front and at the line of scrimmage, and the Browns are going to do that all year.
Yeah, and they often say that football is won in the trenches. Do you think that the Browns were shocked at how easy things were in the very beginning, how easy their offense was running, and how they could get and do anything they wanted against Kansas City defense? Do you think that the Browns were kind of honestly shocked about that?
When you see how Kevin Stefanski carries himself in this team, it comes with a certain expectation that they're going to be able to run the football, work their play action, and generate chunk plays like that. I think that maybe some surprise came into how explosive Anthony Schwartz looked. You really didn't know what you were going to get from the rookie until you throw him out there, and he didn't disappoint. The Browns desperately needed speed a year ago in the playoff game against Kansas City, and they have it now in Anthony Schwartz. You see a guy like David Njoku able to beat man coverage, and the Chiefs came out and played a similar game plan they did a year ago, which is why you saw the speed of Anthony Schwartz win. You saw David Njoku lead the team in receiving. And I think, honestly, where the shock came in was when Patrick Holmes took one play and one throw and went 75 yards and found Tyreek Hill behind John Johnson and really flipped the game. I think that would be the only real shocking moment of the game, because that's something you can't practice for. It's something you can't prepare for, and it completely flipped momentum.
Yeah, one of the things is it looks like David Njoku picked up where he left off in Kansas City, because he had a heck of a game, and I think he was rated number 5 of Pro Football Focus, or I think number 3 of tight ends and how they performed over this past weekend.
Yeah, and I would expect that to continue. David Njoku's in a contract year. Look at his past 2 seasons. In 2019 with Freddie Kitchens, he breaks his forearm, his elbow in New York in week 2, I believe. And then last year, he started the year with a trade demand and was in a doghouse of sorts. And now it seems he's found a peace of mind and come to grips with his role on this team. And now he's ready to show out. So between Austin Hooper and him, it's clear that David Njoku is a more explosive tight end. And I, again, expect to continue, as he clearly has a rapport with Baker Mayfield as well.
Ellis,
go ahead.
Yeah, Ellis, I got a question about Baker Mayfield. With this being the year that he is expecting the extension, how do you see it playing out, especially with the interception at the end of the game? And if that continues, do you see a potential where they do not offer him the extension?
We're getting right to the heart of the Browns issues in front office concerns with GM Andrew Berry, right? I'll put it this way. I'm from Minnesota, and anyone who follows the Vikings has seen what Kirk Cousins has done to that team over the past 3 or 4 years. You pay a quarterback that type of money, you expect him to be a complete eraser and problem solver. The Browns got the ball. There wasn't a point scored in this game in the final 7.5 minutes. The Chiefs gave the Browns 2 more opportunities to go down and score and win the game, and the offense was not able to do that. With 90 seconds to go, Myles Garrett's able to sack Patrick Mahomes and ultimately get the ball back. You know, your star players show up in those moments. Myles Garrett did his part, got the ball back to Baker Mayfield, and they didn't do it. This is a week 1 game. You don't pay quarterbacks based off week 1. You pay them for the playoff game. But this is now twice where the Browns have let a victory slip away in Kansas City with an advantage, whether it's Patrick Mahomes not playing the final 3 minutes a year ago or this past game where they were up 12 points at halftime. In terms of the contract, look, in this league, the quarterbacks tend to get their money. It's going to take a while. There's clearly some hesitance inside that building somewhere, or they would have just paid him this offseason. You know, Josh Allen got his money. Lamar Jackson doesn't seem that far away from getting his. But as of today, I would be quite surprised if Baker Mayfield isn't at least a $35 million per year quarterback. And with the way the contracts are creeping, that's probably going to hit 40, because Baker's set up well to put up numbers that his agents are going to be able to bring to the table and see, like, look what we produced. But when you peel it back, this is the best roster he'll ever play with. Best offensive line in football, a plethora of weapons, and an embarrassment of goods. Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Donovan Peoples-Jones emerging, 2 tight ends, and Odell Beckham Jr. is not even back. So I think he does get his money. Does it pay off in the long run? That's really what we're going to find out this year.
So do you think that Baker can be the reason why the Browns actually reach that point, or will they get there in spite of him, or will they get there because of him?
Oh, they're going to get there because of him. I mean, they were in this game because of him. He threw for 321 yards, threw some incredibly accurate footballs. The one to David Njoku, I believe the third quarter comes to mind, that early one to Anthony Schwartz. He had some real on-the-money throws, but this game comes down to one or two moments. And on a 3rd and 7, he threw it inside to Anthony on a ball the rookie got his hands on, and after the game said he should have caught. Baker Mayfield after the game saying he should have put it outside. And then, of course, the interception at the end, you can't have it. Kevin Stefanski was clear that your quarterback needs to find a way to throw an incompletion there by any means. Was Baker trying to throw it away and he just got tripped up and lost all his throwing power? Or was he trying to give Harrison Bryant an opportunity to jump ball and made a costly mistake? We'll never know, because the smart thing is to just say, hey, I was trying to throw it away and got tripped up. You're protected there. But he's got to come up clutch in those moments to get the Browns to the Super Bowl. But they're going to get to those moments because of Baker Mayfield, because that's really what happened on Sunday in complement to the run game.
Ellis, what's going on, man? It's Marshawn, man. Finally got a chance to speak to you. You spoke about how the Browns have this plethora of talent. You know, you got Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and Njoku, this one and that one. One of my concerns with Kevin Stefanski, and maybe you've seen it too, is how he distributes the runs between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And I want to say it was around the second or third quarter. It was in the third quarter, around the 6-minute mark, when he ran Nick Chubb 3 straight times. You know, Nick Chubb had the 17-yard run. Then he got the 4-yard run. Do you think Stefanski has an issue with figuring out when to use Kareem Hunt and when to use Nick Chubb, or it's just kind of like a fill-out game? Because last year he did it again where Nick Chubb got like 13 carries. Kareem Hunt only got 6 carries, when Kareem Hunt isn't that far off from Nick Chubb. So do you think like he's struggling with figuring out how to like distribute the amount of runs or not?
Yes, it's an interesting question. I'll say he made improvements from a year ago. Kareem Hunt didn't have a touch in the first half last year in Kansas City. And this year you see him score the 2. That's fact. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt scores a 2-point conversion right away this year. And it's important to keep in mind Kareem Hunt's history with that team. Of course, the team that drafted him, and we know how that ended. But Kevin then played to the emotional side, and that's how you keep a locker room together and intact, giving players like that chances to leave their mark early. So, look, in terms of game flow and how things turn out, it becomes difficult to predict touches outside of an opening script, or especially outside of the first half. And I've been vocal with saying that everyone needs to be patient with how Kevin distributes the football on this team throughout the first probably 6 weeks. There's a lot of moving parts in this. Odell Beckham Jr. is not even back integrated in this offense. And for all that talk about the Browns being better without Odell, I'm confident that he would have found his place and his stride in this offense had he been around after the bye week. So whether it's learning how to use Kareem Hunt with Odell Beckham Jr., now sprinkling Anthony Schwartz, Donovan Peoples-Jones was only targeted once and had 1 catch. There's a lot of parts in this offense that Kevin needs to figure out. So I think you can expand it from just Kareem Hunt, but I expect their snaps to remain about 50-50 throughout the year. Where the ball goes, that's how Kevin's going to figure it out. But when you saw Nick Chubb sign that extension, I think there was a clear agreement between Nick Chubb, his agents, and the Browns front office that we have Kareem Hunt here to protect you, get you through this contract, and potentially into a second one. So Kareem Hunt's going to be on the field. It's just now maximizing his availability and his touches, which, as I'm saying, is going to take time. And we can revisit this question, around the bye week. And if it still seems off, then I think you're onto something. But give Kevin time, because he's got a situation unlike any across the league right now. There's not a team with 2 running backs like this, and there hasn't been for a long time.
Ellis, when your post-game article, you mentioned that the Kansas City Chiefs are the Golden State Warriors, like to our Cavaliers. But eventually, the Cavaliers do beat the Golden State Warriors. We know how that goes. will this team be able to beat Kansas City? Because, they control the pace of the game. They control the flow. They got whatever they wanted. And then I say the Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events in which you had the fumble. The fumble, the defense held, and they only got 3 points out of that. So that's a great thing. But then you had the punt. And Jamie Gillen is one of the best punters in the league. I love him. Our special teams does suck because I think our longest play was 13 yards all year for special teams. But that was the game. That was the play to me that changed that game. It changed. Obviously it was the momentum changer for Kansas City. Can the Cleveland Browns escape this ghost that these Warriors/Chiefs are? And this be the year that they are able to beat them?
Yeah, that Jamie Gillen botched snap felt a lot like the J.R. Smith. What are you doing in game one of the Golden State
2018?
series?
Don't remind us of that, Ellis. And still rough, man. Still hurts.
I know, much higher stakes, but really it's one of those inexplicable moments, something where if that doesn't happen, the Browns are in full control of this game and remain so. As for getting over the hump, of course, who could ever forget the 3-1 comeback? And an important detail of that is the way LeBron and Kyrie took over. And I think the Browns are missing just a little bit of star power to get them over the hump. And I continue to think
which side of the ball?
Offensively, I think it's Odell Beckham Jr. You saw Myles Garrett step up and get that sack and get the ball back to the Browns, and then you saw an offense that stalled out and didn't have the go-to guy when they needed it most. You got Kyrie Irving, LeBron James averaging 42 points per game when they're down 3-1 to beat the Warriors. The Browns need their stars to step up, and it's hard to hold Baker to that standard without Odell Beckham Jr. And I know that's a lot of pressure to put on OBJ, but that's the reason he was brought to Cleveland. And he didn't get an opportunity to play in week 1, so when they meet down the line, I'm telling you, it will come down to those moments. Miles will be ready. The offensive line will be blocking. Baker will be accurate. It's going to be Odell Beckham Jr. making a play downfield. I truly think that's how this team gets over the hump and beats the Kansas City Chiefs, Golden State Warriors, whatever we're calling them.
Is he day to day or where is he at? Because, most indications that we thought that he was going to be able to go. And we thought, hey, we're going to have OBJ for this game. Things are going to be different. They didn't have a chance to go against them this past year. But, now they're going to see. Now they're going to see what we're going to be able to do. And we didn't have him. Do you have any updates on what's going on with him or how soon he's expected to actually be able to play and sustain gameplay?
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski is becoming a mini Bill Belichick in terms of you don't get much out of him. You don't get really any information. He called him a game time decision, and then of course he's a surprise scratch. And then after the game, he says that there's a chance he plays in week 2. So we're really where we were all throughout training camp. It's a mystery. I'll say that this team doesn't expect or need anything from Odell Beckham Jr. until in the middle of the season. This team is looking at week 10 and on, week 12 through week 21, if you will. Of course, with the longer season this year being 17 games, it's a war of attrition. So it wouldn't surprise me if Odell is back sometime in September, sometime over these next 2 weeks, and then he's slowly sprinkled back in. And again, it is how this offense is playing in late October, November, and through their playoff run, rather than what's coming up next with the Texans. So I think Odell's back soon, but it's not going to be in any heavy dosage, or anyone who owns him in fantasy, keep him out of your starting lineups. This is going to take a little bit of time, I anticipate.
Oh, man, you just gave me some good news, man, because I was getting ready to cut Odell from my fantasy team, man, because I mean, it's hard having Odell, Miko Hardman, and I can't think what my third receiver is.
Fantasy stash him if you can, my man.
I got you. I will. But, man, what do you say to those people, man? Yesterday, Overreaction Monday, I'm glad I wasn't on air. But those people that wanted Joe Wood's job, I watched the entire game. The Browns played what I would call, kind of just basically they played the same. If you watch the Patriots game, they played that where you just keep everything underneath, don't give up the big plays. Everybody said that wasn't good enough. They didn't want the Chiefs to get everything underneath. They wanted to give up the big plays. So what do you say to those people who feel like they could take Joe Wood's job right now? They're calling for his job, and they're thinking that the defense is still kind of the same as last year when, in all actuality, I seen a big difference yesterday.
Yeah, way too premature with that. Folks were far too hard on Joe Woods a year ago. You got to realize who he was playing with. It was so tough for his secondary and his safeties out there that GM Andrew Berry went out and got 8, 9 new starters for him. And then when you fast forward to week 1, he gets Ronnie Harrison for 5 plays before he's ejected. Grant Delpit is a late scratch, still dealing with his soft tissue hamstring injuries. And you're looking at one safety in John Johnson once again, and a converted slot corner, MJ Stewart, now being cross-trained as a safety, filling in for Ronnie Harrison. That he knows what he wants to do. He wants to rush for and play coverage behind it. I would like to see this team transition into more man coverage, be physical with these receivers. That's how you see Tyreek Hill have 11 catches for 197 yards. Take away that 75-yard bomb, Tyreek was still carving up the Browns defense in those intermediate areas, and that can be hindered by believing in your guys and letting them compete against some of the best athletes in this league. You have it in Denzel Ward. It seems like you got a real up-and-coming stud in Greg Newsom, a rookie who played every snap on Sunday and only allowed 1 reception. But the reason to be specific in your question, the reason it appears that they're in a similar style or formula from a year ago is because you did see a lot of zone, which was what the Browns were mostly in a year ago. And I think once Joe Woods gets a full game of Ronnie Harrison, gets Grant Delpit back into this lineup, you're going to see him be able to unlock what he truly wants to do, which is play 3 safeties. And I'm hopeful that he gives these athletes an opportunity to play man coverage, and then you're going to let Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney tee off on these quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes had a release time of 2 seconds in the pocket, the fastest of any quarterback on Sunday. That tells you that he knew exactly where to go against the Browns soft zone. So man defense is the change. Allow him time to get all his parts. And if he transitions into allowing that defense to expand, I think you got to make him to an up-and-coming defensive coordinator.
Do you think Mack Wilson will start next week after having – I wouldn't say he had a terrible week, but basically after all the things that I heard off of training camp, how Anthony Walker basically mentored him and to go out and kind of have a rough game. Do you expect him to kind of start? Is it JOK's time to be pushed in, or do we need to, back off of Mack Wilson as well?
Right. The Browns are in a spot where they're going to let this linebacker battle duke itself out. If you look at the snap counts, Anthony Walker played 62 of the 63 snaps, and then they had 4 other linebackers play anywhere between 24 and 17 snaps. JOK, Mack Wilson both playing 24, Malcolm Smith on the low end at 17, even Sonny Takitaki mixing in there. Also in their snap count, you see 4 or 5 corners or safeties, and 5 corners or safeties, defensive backs in that top 11, meaning the Browns were primarily playing 2 linebackers. So you have Anthony Walker not coming off the field, and you got 3 or 4 linebackers rotating for that other spot. Mack Wilson's going to have another opportunity to grab that position. I'll tell you one guy it won't be. It won't be Malcolm Smith, who the Chiefs just bullied and picked on every time he was on the field. He allowed 2 touchdowns to Travis Kelce and only playing 17 snaps. This is going to come down to Mack Wilson or JOK, and you got to lean JOK in that sense, despite them giving Mack every opportunity.
Ellis, we could keep you longer. I appreciate you giving us your time because I know you're busy. And hopefully we can have you come on throughout the season. Can you give everybody your social media, how to get in touch with you?
Of course, at Booker Ellis. That's simple. At Booker Ellis. You've seen at Booker Eli. That's how I got that one. So appreciate you letting me get the shout out there. And just thanks for having me on, y'all. It's been a minute, and it's just nice to see you guys. And let's do this again soon. All right.
You too. Thank you so much. So we got to go ahead and go to break. So thank you so much to Ellis L. Williams of Cleveland.com. You check him out and read his articles and his coverage regarding the Cleveland Browns and all your other sports teams here in the city of Cleveland. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We're going to be right back.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, Willie. You want to come on? All right, so it's just
Willie about to go off.
Willie gone, yeah.
Okay. I got an hour because it started at 8:00 this time, right?
Yeah.
I could.
See if he want to come on tomorrow.
What's next? Some more Browns?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can give your reaction.
Cool. Oh, shoot.
I had to go to break. I said 15, 20 minutes. So I'm like, I got to hold to that so we can get him to come back.
15 to 20?
Yeah. Usually that's how long they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever listened to the
No, I do. I was just, before I got here, I was listening to, what's Emmett's show called again?
Uncut Uncensored?
No, Emmett Golden.
Oh,
I was just listening to his show. I forgot. But anyway, they had Jake Trotter on there. They had him on there for 7 minutes.
Oh, really?
They had 6, 7. They asked him like 3 questions. He was boom, boom, boom.
That's what the Browns said. This is what you got. You take what you can get.
Yeah.
So, the beat writers and stuff, they're a little better about that. So. It's almost 6:30 right now.
Huh?
It's almost 6:30 right now.
Dang, I didn't even realize.
Huh?
I said, we was talking for a minute. I didn't even realize.
What you say?
We was talking for a minute. I didn't even realize.
It went fast, didn't it? All right. Welcome back to Her and the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. Remember, you can always listen to us online at WOVU.org. And you can also listen to us on the WOVU app. So you can take us with you on the go. And then you can always give us a call, 212-771-0959. I know that you're listening. Sometimes you're scared to call, but don't worry. We won't do anything to you. But Marshawn, so I don't have you with me on Mondays, but I got to get your reaction to the game, man. I got to get your reaction to the offense, to the defense, to the game overall. What say you, man, about the game? Wait, first of all, let me ask you, how was you feeling on Monday when you woke up?
Honestly, I wasn't mad at this game because I felt like win or lose, I just wanted to see a better team than I just wanted to see a better fight than what I saw in the divisional game. So I definitely don't feel like the Browns like laid an egg or anything, or I woke up the next morning mad at anybody. I was disappointed. Of course I was disappointed at the team because I felt like, we should have put up a better fight. We should have closed out a little bit stronger than what we did, but I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at all.
And that was a general consensus of a lot of people. I'm not happy, but I'm not mad.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The reason why, I think you got exactly what you wanted, as far as you got a better offensive showing, because the offense was just unbelievable. Baker Mayfield, and I've been very hard on Baker. Baker was amazing. Baker was amazing. Baker was slinging it around. Everything was looking great. Awesome passes. Even the ones that missed were so close. So I was loving to see what he was doing. I was loving to see what Nick Chubb was doing. But then on one of those touchdowns, because Nick Chubb had 3 running touchdowns, because Kareem Hunt but Kareem Hunt, how many did Kareem have? Because I remember how Nick was taken out, and I think that was done on purpose and by design to give Nick a little bit of a rest, and he knew Kareem could get it. So I think I was like, okay, I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, because they did it last year. He did it in a divisional game last year. There was times where, I'm not saying that Nick Chubb is not a pass catcher from the running back position.
He's not.
But I'm saying, he
admitted it. He admitted that.
First play of the game, I was surprised. Baker went to Nick Chubb. He caught it like he knew something.
Look, he better have worked on that. He better have.
Yeah. But no, and that's the reason why I asked Ellis, because there's sometimes, like I said, in the divisional game, I feel like he'll run Nick Chubb 2 or 3 times, and Nick Chubb will get a 15. I feel like this, after you get a 15-yard run, you're gassed because you put all you got into it. So I feel like after that run, I would like to see Kareem Hunt in there. Kareem Hunt is like a battering ram, It's like it's like those things that the cops use to bust down your door. Like, you're not stopping that. He ran so aggressive. And it's against your old team. You want to show them up. Granted, the off-field stuff that happened, but Kareem Hunt probably feels like, hey, you got rid of a good running back.
Yeah.
I'm not one to, talk down on any players, but you can't get me to believe Clyde Edwards is better than Kareem Hunt.
Absolutely not.
So that's kind of how I feel. I feel like the Browns
They wasn't
rushing
getting anything on the ground
at all.
It was all through the air.
At all. He had 14 carries for 43 yards.
Oh my God.
14 carries for 43 yards. Come on. Now.
I might be able to average at least.
Come on now.
I might be able to get him on that average.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I just feel like, the Browns rushing attack is number one, best in the NFL. But it could be head and shoulders above anybody. If you gave Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt 10 carries, 15 carries, and you gave Nick Chubb 15 to 20. I remember it was a stat last year that the Browns were like undefeated. They may have lost one game when Nick Chubb had over 20 carries.
Oh, really?
So if you give Nick Chubb 20, you give Kareem Hunt about 10 to 15. That, and Baker still gets his 30 throws a game. I mean, who's stopping that offense?
But
this is a crazy offense to stop.
Let me ask you this: have you ever seen Kareem Hunt fumble the ball?
I don't know, not that I know.
And I'm not getting on Nick Chubb. I'm not getting on Nick Chubb because I don't think Nick Chubb. I think this was his first fumble since when he fumbled 3 times against the Patriots.
Yeah.
That was 3 times, right?
I believe it was either 2 or 3 times.
Okay, I believe it was 3 because it was unbelievable. Because we still, and even with those fumbles, we still had a chance to beat the Patriots. And that was with Tom Brady. So he hasn't fumbled since then. And, it's going to happen. We have to prepare ourselves. It's eventually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm glad that Kevin Stefanski gave him the ball again. And it was like, hey, we believe in you because that's what you need to do. Still feed him. And they still continue to gash. But that game-changing play, unfortunately, was Jamie Gillen. And it's hard to explain. I don't think anybody ever will. They say, he had time, but he didn't feel like he had time. And that's kind of like, Ellis mentioned that boogeyman, that punt.
Yeah.
And is Kansas City in your mind? And that's one of the things I'm wondering about this team is Kansas City, their boogeyman. And I think Ellis was right. It was very close. But one of the things that the defense, man, it was just the new D looks like the old D. From last year.
Let me ask you this, because I listened to you yesterday. You and Cleveland K. I definitely tuned in. Let me ask you this: last year, could you seen a play where? God, what was it? What was the DN we had last year? From the Giants that we traded for. Yeah, crazy name. Olivier Vernon.
Yeah.
Could you ever picture a time where Myles Garrett and Olivier Vernon could meet at the quarterback?
No, not really.
Could you ever picture a time last year where Larry Ogunjobi or freaking what's his name that went to the Vikings could stop the run like they did? Larry Ogunjobi's a nice player. Sheldon Richardson, that's what I meant. Sheldon Richardson, they're nice players, but this Malika McDowell is a monster. I see an upgrade of him that Larry Ogunjobi didn't have. And then you got Miles on one side, and then you got the other number 1 pick out of South Carolina on another side. I personally think the D line is better.
Okay, I'll take that.
The corners are better compared to what we have. Linebackers still got the same linebackers from last year. I agree with you on that one. Linebackers are. It got bad, man. Because last year I used to hound on Mack Wilson. So that's why I asked the Mack Wilson question, because I kind of developed a soft spot for Mack Wilson in a sense.
Ain't no soft spots in football. What is wrong with you?
Because man, I used to be on. I used to get on Mack so much about tweeting more than tackling. But man, to see you miss that, he got crossed up on the open field by Patrick Mahomes. Man, that just looks so bad.
Almost everything that the defense looked bad. And I can't believe that they had much better stats than they had last year and much better stats for this game, because it just looked like you could get whatever you want across the middle against this team.
Because I look at it like this. Would you rather across the middle and intermediate plays, or would you rather 3-4 of them plays that we seen that happen on John Johnson? Because I know you remember that Bucs game when Kansas City played the Bucs in the first half. Sean Bunton, Murphy.
The Super Bowl?
No. Remember, they played them in the regular season.
Yeah,
and they disrespected them in the regular season.
Kansas City?
Yeah.
So they beat them twice.
Oh, man. Kansas City beat them in the regular season.
Oh, okay.
Destroyed them.
Oh, really?
Tyreek Hill was destroying them corners. Them corners had nothing. I think Tyreek Hill had 200 yards receiving in the first half. So I look at that game as like a game where, like, all right, I'm glad we didn't have that game, but he still got off. So I'd rather the game that we played defensively for this game versus what Tampa Bay did in the regular season last year. Now, what Tampa did in the Super Bowl, hell, if we could have got that game, oh, man. Oh, Rachel, I'll probably still be in Kansas. I'll probably be in Kansas. Remember what my man Gruden did last year, taking circles around Arrowhead? I'm pretty sure I'd have did that for my Browns if they would beat them convincingly.
Yeah, I'm still not sold. Defense still looked terrible to me.
Oh, man, you can't say that when you got two guys.
The run defense got better.
Okay.
Okay. You know, hey, you held somebody to 43 yards, so you know Jadeveon Clowney and that defensive line did, you know, interact on that. But man, the secondary, the safeties, I mean, Denzel Ward, you probably heard me mention that yesterday when he had that knockdown. Yeah. That was a critical knockdown, a critical play, because they were going to pick up yardage. So, but yeah, I just was not impressed. I was like, this looks like the same defense that they played against last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the defense kind of, I can't really say this the same defense because Ronnie Harrison went out. So that hurt us a lot. That really hurt us a lot. And then the linebacker. So I feel like if Ronnie Harrison didn't go out, probably be a whole different ball game. Because you don't get that big play. You don't get that. I don't think you get that big play on John Johnson with Ronnie Harrison out there. Because Ronnie Harrison is a good tackler and a good ball hawk too. So
yeah, man.
I don't know. I'm gonna give them. I'll tell you this. You want to know my opinion? Their next big test where you could be critical of them.
Hold that.
Okay.
We're going to take a break right quick. So the next big test where we can be critical of that. So you're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Trying to remember that because I
remember. I'm looking. I got it highlighted right now. We got 1, 2. That's not really a test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of.
George, sorry, George. Yeah, I agree. No more boogeymans. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady Sports, and I'm here with my guest co-host, Marshawn Powers, up in the building with me. And Marshawn said he was going to hold on to a thought. I told him I'm not going to remember, so make sure you remember it. But you said that this was going to be the next challenge, the next big challenge that the Browns had.
So, in my opinion, looking at the schedule, you got October 10th on the away game, you got to go to LA against the Chargers. Did you see what the Chargers did to, my opinion, one of the best defenses in the Washington football team?
No.
Beat them.
Okay.
After that, you got a home game against Arizona. I know you've seen what little Kyler did to
Yeah,
Tennessee.
that's my quarterback on
even though
fantasy.
their defense isn't better than ours. That's another test. Then you skip a week. We got Thursday night against the Broncos. I don't feel like that's a test. But then the last test after that, which everybody's talking about, like Ellis said, I wanted to jump in, but I let Ellis talk. But he said top 4 teams in the AFC are going to be Kansas City, Buffalo, us, and Baltimore. Take one team out of that. I agree with 3 out of the 4.
Baltimore.
I don't think Baltimore is going to be that team. You know who I think that 4th team is going to be?
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, how did I know you was going to say that? Because they beat the brakes off of Buffalo.
Listen, that defense is crazy. You added Joe Schobert to the linebacking core. You got Melvin Ingram. How could we all forget about Melvin Ingram, what he was doing in San Diego, Los Angeles, however you want to say it? But I still think, and that's a team, I think Baltimore respects us, and Baltimore dealt with a lot of injuries. So I don't really think that we're going to worry about them. But I really think Pittsburgh still don't respect us. And they won the North last year. I think people forgetting everything still goes through Pittsburgh until we're crowned the North champs. So I think Pittsburgh is that last test.
Guess what? The Cleveland Browns are going to be the Phoenix Suns that was with Steve Nash. There's no defense. Just get the ball back.
All offense.
We just want the ball back.
Okay.
Because, against these lower tier NFL teams, you can get away with doing the zone and, play some man-to-man. But against these better, offensive teams, there's no way you're going to be able to run the zone against them. And you see how it burnt you. The 75-yard pass play, man, come on, man.
I don't think we'll be able to run the zone against Cincinnati. I watched a little bit of that game. I didn't really watch the whole game because I was watching the Pittsburgh game. Yeah, but Cincinnati got some receivers out there. Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, and you got who was it? Which one is the one from LSU that played with Joe Burrow?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah. So
first game got hit the century mark. So we gotta be on our game. And the crazy part about it, I don't think the Chiefs in my opinion, was the complete offense we faced. I was reading an article just during the break. 81% of the passes that Pat Holmes threw went to Kelsey and Hill. Everybody else had 10 catches for 64 yards. So if other teams can read off of that, and figure that out, we can beat them. So I think we that's behind us. I'm done with that now. I'm ready for Houston. I'm ready.
Well, let me before you want to move on to Houston though, but let me ask you this: is doubling Kelsey and Tyreek Hill? Could that possibly be better if you double them?
It depends on it depends on the type of defense that we play. If we playing, what we playing? 4-2-5. So if we're playing the 4-2-5 with everybody out there, I think you could. I think you could double Tyreek Hill. I don't think you could double Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey is a dude. He a dude, man. He a dude. Him and Kittle. Them dudes. You can put 2-3 people on them. They going through them, catching over them. So I don't know if you could double Kelsey. Kelsey is a different type of animal.
If you send some safety help over the top or something, you have to find a way to slow him down.
I take that back because there was a point in time where you couldn't even double Gronk. And what happened? The Jacksonville Jaguars, when they had all that strong defense, they figured that out. Double him up, hit him low.
Yeah, because you got to take one away, though. You have to take one away.
Who would you take away, though? Who's the easier one to take away?
The easier one to take away is probably Tyreek Hill. Like you said, it's going to be really hard to stop. It'd be really hard to stop Travis Kelsey because he's just a man. Yeah. But Tyreek Hill, you send somebody that's speedy.
Because he ain't going in the middle, especially not if you got it covered. You hit him a good time. You'd be done.
You send somebody speedy, put some help over the top. You gotta let one of them beat you. You only give them one weapon. They did nothing on the ground, so you only give them one weapon.
I'm not too much worried about their ground game anyway. So I don't know. We just gotta. I look at it also as they say, in order to win, you got to win on all 3 levels: offense, defense, and special teams. We lost on all 3 levels. We didn't. Kansas City didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure we said that when we went 1-16, 1-15. We've done it plenty of times. But this is one of those games where I feel like we actually beat ourselves. You had a strong first half.
bag.
You had a strong first half. We were up with 22-10 at halftime.
Yeah.
And then you come out.
Concentration issues.
Chiefs take up majority of the third quarter, which, okay, that should rest up your offense.
Did Nick Chubb have the ball stripped?
No, it hit him. Thornhill hit him with the helmet.
Okay.
Went in and poked it out. So
okay.
I mean, but
so you can't really blame Nick Chubb.
No, you can't. I mean, when somebody else asked me this question, like, how much blame could you put on Nick Chubb for that fumble? I said 45-55. 55% of coaching where all right, he just got a 17-yard run. We gave him the ball 3 straight times, and he fumbled. You got to know when to throw your guy in. Like I feel like there's been times, again, you got to put Kareem Hunt in there and let Kareem Hunt do his work. Kareem Hunt is just as good. The Browns could potentially have 2 running backs in the Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, 1,000-yard
We're so worried
backs.
about having the best wide receiver court when we have the best running back.
Yeah, you got 2,000-yard backs.
Easily. So, I don't know, man. I think if we get that if we get, like I say, we figure out how to distribute the runs well, even though Dearness Johnson back there, keep it fresh. We got 16 more games. We don't need to, try to impose our will every week. There's some weeks where, give some backups that you probably didn't think would, play. Give them some burn and let them get in there. Because again, I feel like we have a complete team from 1 to 53.
Do you think what was I about to ask you? I was about to ask you about a play. I can't remember what it was. Anywho, Ohio State University.
Man, I know you was gonna ask me about this. You see what I got on today? 2-0. You see what I got on today?
Oh my God.
Hey, we 2-0. I don't know what happened.
Anywho, I mean, when y'all playing schools like Kent, okay.
Listen, y'all playing Akron.
I don't know.
Who better?
I don't know. They both suck.
Kent made a bowl game. When did last time Akron made a bowl game? They had Jason Taylor.
I don't know. Did they even make a bowl game then?
Probably.
Yeah.
State, what you want? What's up?
What were your thoughts about the game?
Defense.
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, offense, you put up.
We don't play defense here in Ohio. Just put it out there.
And you know the crazy part about it? I blame that on Ryan Day.
Ryan Day doesn't want to have any.
Really blame it on him today. Did you hear his
press conference? Ryan. Like I said, Ryan Day does not blame anything. He takes no responsibility. Like your former president Donald Trump. I take no responsibility for anything.
Right. In so many words, I'm gonna for those who haven't heard what Ryan Day said today, I'm gonna reiterate what he said. Pretty much he said when passed me that whistle, he told me, don't worry about the defense. I got the defense taken away. Just worry about the offense. And that's all Ryan Day has ever been worried about. That's all he recruited was offense. That's all he gonna coach his offense. And that's what's gonna get him a job in the NFL is coaching offense. I feel like he kind of threw my guy under the bus. He kind of threw
everybody under the bus, the whole team.
Yeah, Coach Combs under the bus because I was listening to the post-game show, and one of the old players, Michael Bennett, was on there. He said the thing that a lot of people can't understand about Coach Combs is he still got that NFL mentality. Where in the NFL, we got a scheme. Either that scheme gonna fit you or you gonna be gone. Here in college, if you got that scheme, you got to work that scheme towards your players. And I don't think that's what he's done, because to run the same play 3 times, you don't have nobody on the outside, everybody's on the inside, and you get killed on the outside by the same run 3 times. That's crazy. When I was watching that, I was like, man, that couldn't be Urban on the sideline. Urban might have another brain aneurysm. He sees something like that. So, I mean, I feel like this. If they figure the defense out, it's another 2014, where you got to run the board. Ohio State can't afford to lose another game, and we're going to be playing in the
Navy skinny jeans.
Man, I was about to go something else. The Marathon East 55th Bowl.
Yeah.
We ain't going to be playing.
Because everybody got a bowl game nowadays. Yeah. You be playing in the Huddle Bowl. Just put it out there.
Hey, man, if y'all want another bowl, call it the Rachel Hill Her in the Huddle Bowl. Make some money off of it. But no, honestly,
I got $5 to put in.
I honestly think they'll be okay. They got Tulsa this weekend. They're going. I feel bad for Tulsa because
I feel bad for Akron. Who schedules that team? But they get like $2 million a year now.
They need them. I think it's just because I think it's more so the MAC and the Big Ten got a little contract where
they need to stop that
because they'll play Northern Illinois next year. They'll play Bowling Green the year after. So it's no different than Alabama playing Mercer.
Oh no, but they need to stop that though.
I think that'll be fine. You did say yesterday you feel like they out of it. I don't think they out of it.
I do.
You got teams like, listen, you still got Iowa. That's good. They beat it. I don't know if they play Iowa. They'll have to beat Iowa. They'll have to meet Iowa in the Big Ten tournament. You still got Penn State. I don't know if they play Wisconsin.
Can they beat Penn State though? That's the thing.
They can beat Penn State.
Can they beat these teams?
Yes.
And that's the thing I'm not sure about.
Yes.
After watching that and having no defense, and you on the road, because I think they play at Penn State this year, and Penn State always do that whiteout.
Goodness gracious.
Exactly. And that's probably a prime time game, and Penn State give us fits at times. I think they're at Happy Valley, which has always kind of been a rough place for us to play. You checking now?
Yeah, I'm looking now. Let me see. I'm trying to see those bright spots. Maybe they might be able to, pull one here. All right, so they got Tulsa. That's a dub. They got Akron after that. That's a dub. They got Rutgers after that. That's a dub. Then, oh my goodness, my Terps coming to College Park. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I gotta be real.
Are you going to that game?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's down in Columbus. I'm not gonna go up to College Park if it was there because I can't see Ohio State beat up on my school in College Park like this. Because at first I was like, all right, Maryland gonna beat them. Nah. Ohio State is peed off right now. So only the toughest games they got left. That game that we gonna beat up, that's Chris Styles' team. I ain't gonna say that name, but we got them left.
That place up north?
Yeah, that place up north. They number 25. We play them a couple days after Thanksgiving, the annual beat on Michigan Bowl. That's gonna be a tough game. I think Michigan State gonna be a tough game.
Where are we playing at?
Here in Columbus. Okay. No, they don't go to Happy Valley.
They don't.
They play Penn State here. So
prime time.
Yeah, you got to go to. Doesn't say yet. So only tough ones you got left. You got to go to Indiana. That's always a tough one. Purdue, like you said, is always a tough one, and the two Michigan schools is always a tough one. So they still got about five games to show the committee why they deserve to be in. I think they're going to be in.
I think they'd be hard against Indiana. Michael Penix threw like five. Like, didn't he throw like a heck of amount of interceptions?
Yeah, I don't see a team in the Big Ten right now that's more talented offensively than Ohio State. Defense, you're going to have to figure it out. Ryan Day told us today something's going to be figured out. So that means maybe he's going to be more involved, hopefully. If not, you're going to get Washington or give Kerry Coombs another pep talk, but I need his defense to be better this week. I need the defense to be better against Rutgers because you don't even need to put your best defense out there against Akron. No disrespect to Akron, but we'll see that real test of defense against Rutgers because Greg Schiano knows the Buckeyes like the back of his hand. So I think that's when you're going to see your first real test of his defense.
All right, we're going to take another break right quick. Our final break. You're listening to Her and the Holmes, WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Yeah, man, I had to get this third break in.
What you want to close out on? Whatever. My boy Josh Gordon get reinstated.
Oh, we can talk about that.
Okay, we can talk about that. Browns, what's going to happen with the Texans, and close it out.
You gonna be here tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'm off tomorrow.
All right. You doing a show tonight? Yeah, I can't do it tonight. I got something going on. As soon as we out of here.
Yeah, I'm swinging home.
Where do you live at?
Right off Eddie Road by Bracknell.
Oh, okay.
Not my side of town at all.
So. What, Bracknell?
Yeah, my mom moved over there. And I used to live in Sagamore Hills.
My
lease ended, and I wasn't about to re-up for another year.
Yeah.
And they was like, "Oh, will you do 6 months? We're gonna have to add on like another $300." I was like, "Nah, I'm not ready for 6 months." So I told
Highway
my mom,
robbery.
like, "Yo, just let me get that extra room for 4 months, and then I'm out of your head."
Where you looking to move to?
Back to the DMV.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot you trying to leave me.
I gotta finish school. I can't do this online stuff. This is not for me. It's not for me. So just because I'm leaving, don't mean nothing. I'm still 5 hours away. I actually could come in. I try to do probably like once or twice a month. Come in the studio, and then the rest will be streamed live.
You come home that much?
Yeah, I used to come home a lot.
Shit.
Yeah. If I ain't had nothing to do, I was about to go to Cleveland and see what's going on there. If ain't nothing going
How
on,
do you
I'll
not
turn
have
around.
anything to do in
In
DC?
DC, I always have stuff to do in DC.
I was gonna say, how do you not have anything? What we say we coming back?
Josh Gordon and
Oh.
Browns. Houston.
All right, welcome back to Her and Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl Rachel Hill, the First Lady Sports, and I got my guest co-host Marshawn Powers in studio with me. So Marshawn got some breaking news. Go ahead, Marshawn.
Man. So recording, I've been so thirsty to break this. This is my favorite receiver. I don't care how many times this man they got suspended, reinstated.
He your favorite.
And yeah, of course.
Your favorite.
Listen.
Oh my God.
I don't care what nobody says. There hasn't been a receiver since 1999 that played for the Cleveland Browns has been better than Josh Gordon. No, I understand the off the field issues, but when he's on the field, the talent is there. I don't care what you guys say about Dell. I don't care what you guys say about Jarvis. Neither one of them is in the same stratosphere talent-wise when it comes to Josh Gordon. But according to Adam Schefter, the NFL Players Association has determined Josh Gordon has successfully completed the NFL Monitor Treatment Program and has recommended to the NFL that he should be reinstated per sources. Gordon is waiting final approval from Commissioner Roger Goodell, but he has said to be ready to play and vaccinated. Now, Josh Gordon can come off the couch and get 20 yards to catch. Do you think we'll see more than half a season from this man, or do you think, this is just the typical what we about to get, 3 games, max suspension?
I don't think any team is going to pick him up in that last
season. That. I need to see him play.
That season with the Browns was 2013, which was 8 years.
That's fine. Listen, he played with. I need to pull that up. He played with, because I ain't gonna say the name, the person who put this stat out. But he played with, when he played with the Seahawks, came off the couch, he averaged 19.9 yards a carry. That's ridiculous for a guy that
he don't want it enough.
He do.
Because if he wanted enough, he would have stayed away from the ganja. All you had one job to do, and that was stay away from marijuana. That was all you had to do. All you had to do. And they say in the NFL, when you got to take that test, no matter where you at, you got to go.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is Josh Gordon going to come back and be a number 1 receiver?
No.
Probably not.
Nobody's going to pick him up. He damaged goods, man.
I want to see somebody
damaged
pick him up.
goods.
He got that talent, man. He has it there.
He has the talent, but he wasted it all these years. It don't matter. What did Bill Belichick say? Availability is better than ability. And that's the thing. He's not dependable. He's unreliable. And I love Josh Gordon like the next person. And the stats that he put up, he even played well with Johnny Manziel. I love him too. But I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's what everybody has had. The part of Hard Knocks when they finally was in Cleveland, and all you saw was just how jubilant Hugh Jackson was, talking about the bird has landed. The bird has landed. Talking about Josh Gordon. And what did Josh Gordon do? He let down.
He let him down.
He let down the city,
so
his teammates, and most of all, he let down himself.
Yeah, I ain't gonna never forget that day. I was in San Antonio at one of my good friends' wedding. I got that update that we cut Josh. We traded him. I was so hurt. I was like, dang, man, like this dude could have been the best receiver. Well, the best receiver probably been a stretch, but one of the best receivers that ever laced it up for the Cleveland Browns. Could have been.
Yeah, that played for the Browns, absolutely.
Still probably is. I still put him up there.
Marshawn.
Top 10, top 5, top 10 receiver that ever laced up the Browns. All you needed was 1 year.
If anybody wondered what that slapping sign was, that was me slapping Marshawn, trying to slap some sense in him. Next, I'm about to try to shake him to shake some sense into him.
But no, man, before we get out of here, we're going to talk more about it tomorrow, but give me your early predictions. Browns, they favored by 12.5.
Oh, but how close was I though? What did I say? 34-30.
34-30.
How close was I? But it was flip flop.
Yeah.
But 34-30, I was almost there.
Yeah, you were.
I was a point away with each.
You were.
I'm really proud of myself.
So what you
got? I'm so close.
What's your early for this week?
Early prediction, because we got to get out of here,
12 and a
man.
half.
12 and a half points. We're going to go 41-24.
I am going to go tomorrow. You don't have to wait to get it to me tomorrow.
Oh, how you gonna set me up like that? Oh man, don't copy on my score. God, you better copy my score. And we want to thank you for listening to her and the huddle. You've been listening to us on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we are out of here. All right.
That's all. I'm not gonna make my Facebook page private.
Oh wait, this console say, oh, that's what happened. All the clocks in here say 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it is.
Except for the one right here.
Which one? What time now?
6:58.
Oh. Oh shoot! I want to say 6.